Hello, this is Brian. It is a warm evening, late afternoon, early evening. It's probably getting close to 7 o'clock. I'm here in the San Bernardino National Forest. I was just in the Angeles National Forest, but this is the San Bernardino National Forest side of the St. Gabriel's. It's June 30th, 2020. And I am back in my little secret pinyon grove. I guess it's really not that secret because the 2 is right there, Angeles Crest. I'm back in this beautiful little pinyon grove. I know I discussed on some other video I shot earlier today that will be available on a separate video set that I was going to swing by here and check to see if we're going to have a good pinyon cone crop this year. It's hard to tell. It's a little early on, I guess. This is probably my favorite pinyon grove because this is where some of the largest, oldest pinyons I've ever experienced are growing. So I want to check up and see if we're going to have a good cone crop. Now, when I was hiking in the San Bernardinos last week, I saw that a lot of the pinyon pines up there had some pretty swollen cones. They were getting close to their mature size. Well, gotta keep in mind where I was significantly higher than this. Here we're only about 5,050 feet, 5,100 feet above sea level. So we're at a low elevation here. Where I was hiking last time, I was hiking one spot that was between 6,800 and 7,100 feet, and another area where I was hiking was between 8,400 feet and the top of Onyx Peak, which is over 9,000 feet. So it might be on a little bit different cycle here. These cones might ripen later. A lot of those cones in the San Bernardinos higher up were pretty well swollen. Here's some of the flannel bushes. I believe this is the one I featured. I think this is the very one that I featured, I believe. Ooh, wait a minute. There goes an Audubon's cottontail. Silvolagus auduboni. Oh, that's cool. I think this is the same flannel bush I featured last time, or I think so. It might be. Then we got, just like at the higher elevations, we got these relatively short-statured Joshua trees here. Yeah, I was trying to check them on the pinyon cone crop, and well, it's not, you know, we're not in September when you'd normally expect to have the main event. I think late August into mid-September. And today is only June 30th. I don't see a whole lot of cones on these guys developing. Well, I do see cones. I think some of these cones might be ripening next year. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if these guys are next year's or this year's cones. Hopefully they'll be this year's. It looks like we'll be off to a pretty good, fairly okay, well, let's say fairly okay, decent start. There are a lot of cones in the tree, I can see. A lot of these young female cones that are just developing. So, just have to wait. So my friend was asking about that, wondering what the status was. So I told him how the pinyon pines were doing up in the higher parts of the San Bernardinos, but we're in the lower and just outside of Wrightwood. I believe that was my spotlight right there. I think that was my spotlight on trees on Flannelbush last September. But yeah, so kind of remains to be seen right now what kind of season we're gonna have. And when you get a good pinyon harvest, that's always, you know, that's a good sign. That's a good healthy sign of the tree's health. These pinions have been around for quite a while. So it's kind of neat to see them. I love coming over here. I've been over here like 4 or 5 times already. I know I filmed this area a lot. This is where we get some huge old growth Persea tridentata glandulosa. Some of these get huge over here. Normally when I see these things, they're about my height or less. So this thing's about 8 or 9 feet tall. So that's one thing I like about this area. You can see some old growth everything. Old growth antelope brush. So that's why I like coming over here and stuff. Love hanging out with the pinyon pines, and I love checking out these trees. Beautiful Joshua trees. Yeah, they're taller here than where I was hiking last time. A little bit. Since we're only at about, we're just a little above 5,000 feet. But yeah, I just had to get over here and get a nice little shot of this area. Looking at all these beautiful old growth pinions. These trees have probably taken a couple hundred years to get to this. Maybe even more. Trees could be older than I thought. I don't know. But I know these trees have put in a lot of work. There's one place in the Southern California where I've seen the single leaf pinions I believe even larger than this. If you know anything about where Frazier Park is, Ventura County, if you go through Frazier Park and keep going west and then turn south on Lockwood Valley Road, there are some incredible stands of huge pinyon pines that are tall. They're tall and narrow, kind of like this guy, but much taller. Some of them are almost as tall as the Jeffrey pines. So there are a couple spots along Lockwood Valley Road in Ventura County, where it's in North Ventura County, where the pinyon pines get very tall there. Some of them are almost matching height with the Jeffrey pines. There are some Jeffrey pines there. Not large Jeffrey pines, not extremely large ones. And then we got a western or Fremont cottonwood. Populus fremontii, subspecies fremontii. I've yet to do a spotlight on these, hoping to very soon. Beautiful tree. This one's a little stunted. The area's pretty dry. This is very much a symbol of the West right here. And then Quercus john-tuckeri, the tucker oak, with the bluish grayish green small leaves. I'm trying to see if I see any developing acorns. Well, I can see the female flowers. I know I did a check of this area last year and it was not very prolific, but you can see all the remnants of the male flowers. These little kind of yellow things, called catkins technically, but they're all spent. And then I can see what's going to develop into the acorns. Those little round shaped things in there, those are the female flowers. Those will become the acorns. So that's Quercus john-tuckeri, the tucker oak. A pretty common fixture here on the desert side of the Angeles and San Bernardino National Forests, especially here in the San Gabriels. There's quite a bit of them. Just had to point those out. And we got a lot of sagebrush here. Of course, again, Joshua trees, pretty common here. And even here in the San Gabriels, you could find them well above 6,000 feet sometimes. Not as, I don't think as prolifically as in the San Bernardinos. But there are spots even here in the San Gabriels where you'll see them kind of up there a little bit. It's that mountain back there. There's some along the ridge of that mountain. That's part of Table Mountain's main ridge. The top of the east portion of it's called East Table Mountain. It's at 6,771 feet. I hiked that mountain back in December of last year. Went cross country up a gully, then I hiked along the ridge, went down another gully. Let's see. Here it is over here. Gullies I went up, I think, were on the other side of that ridge coming down, but that's over towards East Table Mountain. That's probably not the, I don't think that's the summit itself. That's not the summit itself, but keep going that way, then you'll get to Table Mountain, which has a research station and I think an astronomy facility. So, well, this is probably the last of my day. Let's start heading towards home, I believe. Beautiful day. Shot a lot of video here in the San Gabriel Mountains. So, I think this will be the last. And a lot of these are going to be on separate video sets too. They're going to be on separate sets, so be on the lookout for those. Another beautiful day in the San Gabriels. Oh, and by the way, nice ridge up there too. I might have to try to find a way to get up there one day. And a parting shot of the desert almond, Pinus fasciculata, variety fasciculata. I have a couple of these at home that are doing pretty well. Beautiful shrub. Thanks for watching my adventures. I'll have to come back here in a couple months to see what the pinyon pine situation is, see how the cones are doing. But this is it for me. See you on the next adventure. Thanks for watching.